From this Lego lawnmower that actually cuts grass to a Lego drone you can really fly. These are some more insane Lego inventions. Up first is this crazy mechanical keyboard made by JK Brickworks, and it's actually super similar to the snare drum I covered in my second fan creations video. It's basically a combination of real keyboard parts and Lego bricks. JK took the circuit board from an old keyboard he had laying around, put it inside a brick-built frame, and made the keycaps out of Lego. That way, the keyboard sounded and felt just like a regular mechanical keyboard, but still looked like Lego. In the video, he breaks down all the little details of how the keyboard came to life, like the little archway for the cable slot and the other brick-built elements to divide the keys into different sections. I'd love to have this at my gaming setup, if I could type without looking at the letters. I guess I should work on that at some point. Up next is another insane Lego arm, but it's nothing like the prosthetic ones from the last video. This is a working Bionic arm, made with the Mindstorms EV3 set, and I have to say, this thing is super impressive. People have made a ton of different builds with the Mindstorms theme, since the entire thing is based around robots, but this arm is the best one I've seen. Once you build it, all you do is slide it on your arm, and your fingers make your new Lego arm move. Now, honestly, I can't think of a whole lot you could actually do with this arm. It looks really sick, but I don't think it's strong enough to actually use for anything. But I can't say the same about this Lego drone. This was made by the Brick Experiment channel, so you already know it's gonna be a banger. And they absolutely did not disappoint. The motors, propellers, and frame are all made out of Lego, and the only non-Lego parts are the battery, radio receiver, and flight controller. So basically everything you need to make the drone actually fly. Like usual, the amount of coding and stuff I just don't understand was pretty prevalent in this invention. But the fact that something like this is even possible with Lego is pretty crazy. Unfortunately though, not every Lego invention is this successful. Sometimes the idea is there, but the actual execution ends up being way more difficult. Something like this happened with the Lego snowboard that Brick Science made a few years ago. Like I said, the idea was really good, but building something that can handle all the weight of a human being, be smooth enough on the bottom to glide on snow, and not break through any of it is pretty difficult. Surprisingly enough though, none of these things seem to be a problem. The only thing that was holding back the snowboard was the fact that if there wasn't a trail laid out for it, it would just stop dead in its tracks. Oh, and since there are no footholds, it's literally impossible to turn. So it wasn't the best invention in the world, but it wasn't bad either. The drink cooler he made though was the exact opposite. Let me show you how this thing works. Basically, he needed to make a water pump out of bricks and motors that would pump water onto a spinning soda can in the container he built for it. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but just stay with me. The pump would be connected to a plastic bin filled with ice water. That way, the drink would get super cold, super fast. The container he made for the drink was also made really well, which was imperative for this invention. He built a spot at the bottom to hide the water tray and the pump, then made a mechanism that spins the can so the drink gets cooled evenly. Before the cooling, it was at 76 degrees, and after just 1 minute in the cooler, it was like it just came out of the fridge. This is definitely one of the most useful inventions I've seen with Lego, but sometimes it's the unuseful ones that are the most fun. We all know what dominoes are, right? You set them up, tip one over, then watch the rest of them fall. Well, JK Brickworks completely defeated the purpose of dominoes with this infinite domino ring. I mean, the entire point of dominoes is that they fall and you have to set them up again. But with this machine, they quite literally just fall and pick themselves back up forever. After setting up the initial frame, JK put a domino on top and this triangle-shaped Technic piece on the bottom. This piece was very loose, so that way it could be flung up to put the domino back in place once everything was up and running. And it did just that. Once the invention was done, it literally could have been turned into a 10-hour YouTube video like the ones Mr. Beast used to make. But if there's one invention in this video that I just have to show you, it's this Lego exoskeleton. First of all, the video for this thing feels like one of those videos a villain makes before their big invention turns them evil. The quality, how old it is, I feel like it really does give off that vibe. But all that means is that the invention itself is absolutely insane. Professor Bricks was able to make an exoskeleton for his upper body that was connected to a little robot. And of course, it was all made using Lego. When he moved his right arm, the robot moved with it. And when he moved his left arm, the robot moved again. Not only that, but it also had working joints. The elbows and wrists bent, and the arms could even be turned to the side too. Something I haven't covered yet though are dangerous inventions. I definitely had a few in the last video, so let me show you one in this video too. This is a Lego lawnmower made by the Brick Wall on YouTube. I've shown a Lego lawnmower in a different video, but that was just for show. This one actually cuts the grass. The thing is though, the only reason it's able to is because the brick wall attached razor blades to the end of the propellers. This is unbelievably dangerous, especially if they aren't attached very well. So don't even think about trying this at home. Because of these blades, it was able to mow grass pretty well. First, he tested out one blade just to see if it would work, which it did. Then he tested out both blades, which also worked. But the big test was up next. The brick wall dropped the mower straight into the deep end and tried to have it mow the lawn just like any other mower. And even though it was super slow, it did actually work. I don't think anyone would ever use this over a regular lawnmower. But hey, this one's made with Lego, so let's just appreciate how sick that is. Wait, I just realized something. Remember before when I said that the Bionic arm was the coolest thing I've seen built with the stuff from the Mindstorms theme? Well, I lied, because the #1 spot just got taken by this Lego Spaceflight arcade game. I've seen a few Lego arcade games in my day. Lego themselves even released a Pac-Man set not too long ago, but none of them are quite like this one. This invention was not only made with 100% Lego, but it actually works. Like, you can play the game. The way it works is you move this spaceship from left to right and try your best to keep it on the track. If you can't, you lose. But how is this even possible with Lego? Well, it's all because of the Mindstorms theme. With the intelligent brick from EV3, the builder was able to code a color sensor and attach it to the bottom of the spaceship. So that way, it would know if it was on the right color or not. I haven't even covered the fact that all of the controls for this game are with Lego. But honestly, the fact that the game actually works is way cooler than that. Let's keep the robot train going with this Lego robot that brushes your teeth for you. This one was made by Dental Digest on YouTube, and according to the guy who used it, it actually worked a lot better than he thought it would. But honestly, there's no way I'd ever use this thing. It's not for the reason you think though. Somehow, the 1,300 pieces that are used to build it cost over $2,000. This is an absolutely insane amount of money, especially for a toothbrushing robot. But let's see if it's even worth it.
This thing's amazing!
The whole thing is powered by an EV3 motor and is actually very gentle when it brushes.
It's actually surprisingly gentle.
It goes in this weird up and down circular motion, almost like an oval. The one thing I don't get though is how you're supposed to brush your molars. Like, am I just supposed to stick the toothbrush back there and let it do its thing? I can't lie, there's no way I'm doing that. I think I'll just stick to doing it myself. If there's one invention I'd use in a heartbeat though, it's this Lego Iron Man missile launcher made by Brick Science. And the best part is it's nowhere near as expensive as this robot. Basically, all of the work is done by a little spring in the back of the chamber. And once you hook it up to a mechanism in your hand and release it, it'll start flying. The thing is though, the whole point of it is that it's on your arm. So if you don't have an arm piece custom made to fit to your arm, you either gotta get to work or completely forget about it, because this part is essential. The whole thing took Brick Science about 10 hours to make, which is definitely nothing to scoff at, but it was all worth it in the end, because look at how fast this missile shoots out. This is like Nerf gun level quality, and it's not even remotely made by them, which is pretty cool. Not every invention has to be some weird weapon, toy, or remote control vehicle though. Sometimes they can just be funny. In 2018, some random kid uploaded a video of a Lego Cuckoo clock to his channel. It's his only video, and it's literally just a 30-second clip of the clock cuckooing. There's absolutely nothing telling us how it works at all. But honestly, I just think that adds to the joke. I know it's been a while since he posted it, but go show this kid some love on his video. Maybe he'll want to do an update video if he gets enough views. Anyways, the next invention has to do with food. I don't know why, but some people love mixing food into their Lego inventions, like Astonishing Studios' custom Pizza Hut, KFC, and Taco Bell build. This thing was meant to dispense real food, so obviously that had to be provided. But the amount of insane details in this thing is genuinely crazy, so I'll try my best to show them off without taking forever. First off, all the food in this build costs a different price, which can all be seen on the little screen up front. The minimum price is €2, and if you try to put anything less than that in the coin slot, it rejects it and spits it back out at you. Once you put in that minimum price though, whatever food you choose will move on a conveyor belt and be dropped into a little pull-out bin. almost like a vending machine. There's also a spot for change on the bottom left, and since this thing can literally read coins, it can definitely give you change if you give too much money. The last thing I want to tell you about this build though is the 2 combination safe. The way you unlock it is by spinning the 4-color knob counterclockwise until you hit red, then spin it clockwise until you hit blue. Then the safe opens. This part of the build is super clever, and honestly, I didn't even know something like this was possible using just Lego pieces. You know what? This just made me want to show you a Lego safe. So let me show you this blue and white one made by Edificator Lego on YouTube. This one is a pretty good size. Like, it can hold a watch super easily. But of course, since this is a safe, it's impossible to open without a key. And yes, the key is made entirely out of Lego. All you have to do is put it in the slot, and the safe opens. But this key looks really weird. So how does it actually unlock the safe? Well, it's way simpler than you might think. All it does is lift 5 axle pieces out of place, which lets you slide them over and open the door. See? Easy peasy. Another invention that's super simple like this, once it's made at least, is this Lego dog feeder. The clip for it is literally 8 seconds. The dog walks up, uses their paw to press the button, and voila, dinner is served. In theory, this is the most simple invention ever, but since it uses an intelligent brick from EV3, we know there was a lot of coding involved. However, there's one main problem with an invention like this if you don't code it correctly. Dogs love to eat, like they literally can't stop themselves. So if this intelligent brick doesn't have set times that it's allowed to dispense food, the dog could just get as much food as it wants, which would definitely not be good. I hope for this little guy's sake that that's not what happened with their feeder. Anyways, switching gears, the last invention I want to show you is this Braille printer that actually went super viral when it was made back in 2014. Back then, a standard Braille printer cost around $2,000, but with the intelligent brick from EV3, some Lego pieces, and a few things from Home Depot, this 13-year-old was able to make one for right around $350. All you had to do was pick a letter on the intelligent brick, and it would immediately start printing it out in Braille. The invention was not only covered by other YouTubers, but PBS NewsHour even did a segment on it back in 2014. Seeing as how Lego is trying their best to branch out into the world of Braille, this is something they should definitely come back to, even if it is over 10 years old now. But what was your favorite invention in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.